Good evening, everyone. Commiss Ace Coach 704 PEL Primetime Elite League. We are doing the Season 2 pre-draft show, and it is a very exciting time here in the league as we have just come out of a fun off-season not an off-season. Well, yeah, off-season. Full of all kinds of great activity. You know, everyone pretty much being active in the league. Before I jump into everything, as customary on a stream when we have league changes, we do have a new Buccaneers owner. So I want to welcome him to the league, and we hope that he becomes another pillar of the PEL. For those of you that are new this year, we have been a Madden Elite League for the past 3 seasons. And a big reason for that is because of what you guys do with writing articles. I think one of our strengths is the league activity on Daddy Leagues. And, to be named in the Elite League for 3 years, says a lot about you guys and the guys that have been here for, the majority of that duration. So, we're going to look to keep this thing going. We usually do 8 seasons. We're probably on track to do that again this year. So, we'll be going into season 3 real soon. So right now, we're going to look at some trades that have been going on in the league. All right, so here we go. First one was in stage 2 of the offseason. We got the Steelers trading Stephon Tuitt to the Colts. Colts giving up a 3rd rounder and a 5th rounder. I looked at this deal. I felt like it was fair. Tuitt is a very good player. Run stopping defensive end. You can slot him inside the D tackle at times. And a 3rd and a 5th is fair compensation because he's on the last year of his deal. So that's not a bad deal right there for both sides right there. All right, so the Browns trade Odell Beckham to the Chiefs. The Chiefs trade a 2nd, a 4th, and a 2nd next year. So the way I look at next year's picks they're like a round behind in value in the current year. So that's kind of like a 2, 3, and a 4 right there for Odell Beckham. As Giants said in the chat when he was interested, he saw Odell was 29 and he decided not to go after him. If I could have an idea what the Chiefs' plan is, I don't know. And I'm going to talk a lot about the Chiefs, because of some of the moves they made. This one is not as egregious, I just don't understand why you would want Odell Beckham when you got Tyreek Hill, but anyway. I guess the more the merrier, so I guess you can go with the strategy of, trying to compete with the Chargers and the Broncos in a tough AFC West division. You want to have all the weapons you can, but I don't know. Playing those two guys, I'd figure you want to go the other way, but we got Mahomes, I don't know. It's not as bad as what we're getting ready to talk about. So, all right. The Chiefs trade tight end Travis Kelce to the Giants. The Giants give up a 3rd round pick. Of course, we all know that have common sense in this league. This is highway robbery. Now, I did not invoke the rarely used PEL trade reversal clause, which is in the rules, because, it is a salary dump and, Kelce is older. But at the same time, he's a 98 overall X factor. And I know some of you guys get hung up on veteran players, but veteran players are still good, man. They're still valuable. Giving this guy up for a 3rd round pick is one of the dumbest moves in PEL history. And I don't understand why you would do that, unless you just want to help the Giants. And I don't know, maybe there's some kind of offline agreement between the Chiefs and the Giants where the Giants maybe paid the Chiefs some money, because to do this in just a video game sense makes absolutely no sense at all, and the Chiefs should be smacked. I mean, the skin should be slapped off his damn face for doing something like this. I honestly don't know what you're thinking. I don't know what your strategy is, and you know, there's a reason why some people just don't get over the hump. You know, and it's called Madden karma. And Madden karma is going to say, for you do stupid shit like this, you'll never win, you'll never get in the playoffs, you'll definitely never win a Super Bowl or even sniff an AFC championship game by doing a dumb move like this. That's what I have to say about that. Alright, moving on, and let's spend some time on some valuable stuff. The Dolphins trade middle linebacker Jerome Baker to the Colts. Fast linebacker, has pretty good zone coverage. I think he's 89 speed, he's pretty good size. And the Colts trade a, late first. So I think that's not a bad trade on either side right there. I can understand that. The Colts said he didn't have any linebackers, and the Dolphins have a wealth of talent. It's not their problem over there. So, fair deal there. And then the Dolphins trade Darius Geis to the Panthers. We gave up a third-round pick. This is a third-round pick that we had in the Tyrann Mathieu deal during the season when we traded the offensive lineman that we had before. For me, this was a trade that I did. It's a big insurance for Christian McCaffrey because he's a big part of our offense. But he's also a different runner than McCaffrey. McCaffrey is, of course, the speed guy, gets into space, he can throw on the ball. Geis is a pounding guy with really good traits that are hard to find. He's got a rare combination of skills that we like. And I think with our offense, what we're going to do next year, no matter who the quarterback is, we're going to have a thunder and lightning combination. So I had to get somebody. Geis was the thunder. McCaffrey's obviously the lightning. So that was our motivation there. And then Geis is under contract for 3 years at a reasonable price for a backup running back for me. So it was a good deal. It's a good deal on both sides there. Jaguars trade a first-round pick, second-round pick. Okay, this is a pick swap. Okay. All right, so the Texans have traded the number 4 pick in the draft to the Jags, and the Jags gave up their first, second, and third next year to the Texans. Okay. Well, honestly, the Texans told me he was drafting, so I'm a little confused at the motivation there because I always say in Madden leagues, the deeper your draft picks get, the smaller in value they get because you're only going to use that player for so many seasons, It would be one thing if this was a trade in the real life NFL. I think it wouldn't be a bad deal. But in terms of Madden, and the Jags are a good team, so it's a little confusing. The best value you're going to get out of that is a late first. And comparing that to the number 4 pick in this draft, who gets an extra year, a much better player, this is a case where volume doesn't meet talent, so it's not robbery, but I just don't think it's a smart move on the Texans' part to do this. I think a little more foresight and thinking about, how this would work would have been better. If you're going to do something like that, if I was the Texans, I would have asked for the first, second next year and then a player that can help you right now. At least you're getting some kind of immediate return out of giving up the 4th pick in the draft. You go look in the NFL draft pick value chart, this is not a good deal for the Texans. So I think, and I see the Broncos owner saying he thinks robbery is the right word, and it's borderline. Robbery to me is more so of just an obvious bad thing, like the Kelsey in the 3rd round pick. That's a little more than robbery, but this was just not thinking it through, in my opinion, because when it's a pick swap, you want to get something immediate out of a pick swap, especially when you're talking about an online league, because, we're not going anywhere, but you want to get an immediate return. That's just me. So, of course, the Jags says it's a great trade. Of course you would. You would say that. If you guys have been here a long time, remember Jeff. And Jeff was a big trader, and, we had a former owner that didn't last long who called Jeff a rapist. I think I'd be calling my rapist. He left the league. So, yeah, that's funny. Okay. All right. So, in PEL tradition, we're going to take a look at the teams and see what they need. So, let's go to rosters and let's see what we got here. All right. We're just going to go straight down the line. I'll start with me to get myself out the way. We have the 31st pick in the first round. Of course, being the Super Bowl loser. I need to call myself NFC champion instead of Super Bowl loser. I feel better when I say that. Anyway, all right. So quarterback, we got Teddy B. He's on the last year of his deal. And we got Gardner Minshew, who's also on the last year of his deal. So the quarterback position, we're still going back and forth on what we're going to do. I don't know if there's anyone in this class that we are. Well, number one, just so you guys know, the players I create, I do not draft. So I bar myself from picking any of the storyline guys. So I'm only limited to the Madden guys. I don't know if there's anyone in this class we feel strongly about, but of course, in free agency, there really wasn't anyone we wanted. Baker Mayfield was out there, but I wasn't going to pay. I don't like Baker Mayfield, so I didn't really want him. Trade market, we had possibly something working for Aaron Rodgers, didn't work out. We'll see. We'll see what we do. We're still trying to figure that out. Of course, at running back, we're very good with what we got. I'm very happy there. Receiver, we are going to move away from Robbie Anderson, of course. He was in free agency. Nobody really wanted him. And that was smart. So Curtis Samuel's the man. Westbrook is back after his injury. And then the rookie who had a rough Super Bowl, he's got to shake that off and, get ready to step up. And then we signed Auden Tate in free agency. He's going to be my red zone guy. 92 special catch with 94 jump, so you leave him one-on-one on the outside. I'm going to throw the fade. I'm going to throw a lot of fades to him. I'm going to tell you now. So tight end, we're good with these two guys. I'd like to get a blocking tight end at some point. Offensive line, my tackles are good. Greg Little, Daly stepped up. He's developed into a decent player. Lindsey is fine at center. Right guard, we're going to need a little help right there. His guy's more of a depth guy. And then right tackle, we're good with Moton. I may flip Moton and Little. Moton may go to the left side. He's my franchise guy. And then Little is not bad either. So a little work to do on the offensive line, but my defensive line, I'm very happy with that. We just need some depth with Gross Matos and Burns. And then inside, of course, Derek Brown's turned into a beast. We signed Brandon Williams 1 year in free agency to help us on the four-man fronts. And then we got some D-tackle depth right there. Linebacker, Johnson is a little overpaid. Childs will probably play more. He was a rookie last year, got in the second round. Stokes is the man in the middle. Buchanan has done a great job. He's low-rated, but I tell you, with his 88 speed, 91 acceleration, he is killing people. As the second linebacker in the middle in a lot of our fronts. Shaq Thompson, he's okay. I'm not too thrilled with him. He's all right. Dante's turned into a beast. Logan Ryan's back for another year. They just two did a good job on the outside. And then we got Hargraves who plays the slot. And then Corbett will have to grow up a little bit at that fourth corner. Free, Tyron is there, but he actually plays it strong. Rasul Douglas has moved over the corner to play the free for us. Hopefully he can feel what Devin McCourty did as a zone type guy. Chin and Robinson are depth. Chin may play in some sub packages. I just don't know quite yet what I'm going to do with him, if anything. Sly is still back. Good kick power. His accuracy's a little shaky, though. And I don't have a punter. Where am I punter? Damn, I gotta go get a punter. When I saw that, I know I hadn't have a punter. Jesus. All right. So anyway, let's see. Let's go Patriots because I know he's probably watching. All right, here we go. Patriots have the 6th pick in the first round, so we got a pretty high pick there. I think the top 10 you should be able to nail this year. This is a really strong draft. He's good at quarterback with Dimes. Running back, I know he traded for Cohen, so I'm assuming he's all right with him. Just need a little depth there, of course. Receiver with Diggs and Lockett, who he says he mistakenly signed. He's good at receiver in my part, at least for the first two. I mean, if you're okay with these guys, I think Mayfield could develop as a good number 3 with that speed right there in the slot, especially. Tight end spot, I know he signed Boyle in free agency, and I know he's always like this Seals guy. So I think he's okay there. His offensive line is actually pretty good. I don't think he needs a lot of help there. It's one of the better offensive lines in the league. So, okay, right tackle, but that's okay. He's got, 3 other good ones. Defensive line might need some help there. At the left end spot, he signed Hicks in free agency. That's a good signing. Who's that backup guy? Uche? Young guy, speed guy. I would move Uche, depending on your defense. Now, if you play a 3-4, you can't really use Uche at the end, but some sub packages, if you go to a 4-3, he'd be the speed guy. He's your run stopping guy, or even slide him inside. I like Hicks a lot because of his versatility. Very strong at the D tackle spot with Allen, and then the Pine Tree from last just draft. Storyline player for you guys that are new to the league. We don't have obviously a real player named Pine Tree. So the linebacker spots, he's decent. He did trade for Edmonds. I like Edmonds a lot. He's probably the best of that bunch right there. You could use an upgrade. Corners, you're all right. You can get by with those guys. Little upgrade at free, especially at 85 speed. That's a little scary in the back end. And then 83 at the safety. So yeah, you can get some speed at the safety spot for sure. So maybe at the 6th pick, you look for a safety that can come in and play immediately, because those guys back there at that speed, you don't want that at the back end of your defense, especially in this league with some of the guys that people have here. All right, the Raiders, they will have the 8th pick in the first round, so another top 10 pick right there. I see the Pack have traded a first rounder for a linebacker Schobert. We'll go over that in just a little bit. So I'll tell you, man, if you're the Raiders, and you might need to pull the trigger on the quarterback. I mean, Derek Carr at 76 overall is a little low, but if there's somebody there, and I'm going to tell you, this quarterback class, like I told you guys, it's like the class of 83. So if you do your NFL draft history, you'll know what that means. So this might be the time. It might be the time to find the future there. Of course, Jacobs is really good. He's good there. Receiver, let's see. Of course, Ruggs is a beast. Let's see. Williams is decent, and then Renfro, he's pretty good at receiver. I don't think you need any help there. Waller, of course, is really good at tight end, and then Burrs as a number 2 is not bad, so I think you're pretty good there also. All right, offensive line. I need help at guard. Okay, it's not bad. Not bad. Defensively, decent ends. Need a little help at D tackle for sure. Like Raekwon. Middle linebackers are okay. Who's that other guy? Okay. Oh yeah, he used to be the guy. Yeah. Let's see. Yep, linebackers are not bad. And then your corners, yeah, you can use the upgraded corner. So there's the spot right there. If you don't go quarterback, you can go corner at number 8 or safety. Free safety. All right, so you got a couple ways they can go there. If it was me, I'd pull the trigger on the quarterback. That's where I'd go, because you don't have anyone else there on the roster. All right, Rams have the 25th pick in the first round. They lost in the second round of playoffs to yours truly. Jared Goff, yeah, he's all right. For what the Rams do on offense, you might want to look for an upgrade. And same thing at running back. And that's the situation they're in. They have decent guys, and I think this guy plays well. He just needs a little bit of better talent to get over the hump there. Kupp and Woods are good. If you like Jefferson, yeah, he could be a good number 3. Higbee at tight end's not bad. All right, offensive line, I think he can use some help there from what I remember. Yep. Oh, yeah. So offensive line at 25, yeah, you want to look at offensive line. If you don't see a guy that compels you at the quarterback spot, that's what I would say. His defense is not bad. Of course, Aaron Donald is a freaking maniac. He helps control that front right there. Linebackers could definitely use an upgrade. Ebicam is pretty good. And then I remember this guy. He had 2 sacks on me in the playoffs. So this guy does a lot. I think he runs a 3-4, and this guy was coming off the edge a good bit. Of course, Ramsey is a beast. But you need some help with the number 2 corner for sure. So safety, I would play this guy, and this guy would be a back. I'd actually move him to strong with that speed. Well, you got Johnson there, so a couple different ways the Rams could go there. But they run the NFC West. They were NFC West champs, so you got to respect them. Ravens, number 1 pick in the draft. Well, I will tell you, I've got inside information on where he wants to go. I will not share it. But he's got his draft board set, and I'm going to see what he told me matches what I'd say here. So let's see. Of course, Jackson's good. I think Dobbins is good enough. Tristan likes to throw it. Receivers, you're all right. With this bunch, maybe get another weapon if you really want to push it, but not bad. Andrews is very good at tight end. Let's see, offensive line. Yeah, I know his line's pretty good. I know at tackle they're pretty good. He signed Paradis in free agency. Fluker's all right, so you need to upgrade at left guard for sure. And you can have to get that early, especially not at number 1. Defensive end, right end you could use upgrade. He signed my old guy short at D tackle, who's still got enough juice be good for 1, maybe 2 years. I didn't re-sign him because he wanted too much, so I just let him go. Especially with Brown there. Rankins is a good number 2 D tackle. Linebacker could use an upgrade on the outside for sure. Malik is not bad at the right outside backer. Corners, you're all right. Freeze, okay. Strong is okay. So where he's going, I think makes sense. That's all I'll say. It makes sense. Okay, football team. 16th pick in the first round. Barely missed the playoffs in the NFC. I know he's tied to Haskins. He signed Mostert in free agency. I think there was a little bit of a bidding war for him. But, with Bryce Love and Gibson, he's got, 3 speed backs right there. Reggie Mixer, for y'all forgot. He was the storyline player last year that you can move around. So he decided to put him at fullback, and you see how he looks at fullback. That's probably the best fullback in the league. Let's see. Number 3. Oh, there's 2 better. Oh, wow. Okay. Receiver, we've got, McLaurin. Yeah, I hate him. Hilton still hanging on right there. And then Kyrus Staten. Kyrus Staten was the X factor from the storylines last year. Remember, last year we only had 1. I'm not going to tell you how many there are this year. You see his abilities are double me and Energizer. Yeah, Energizer. That's nice. Okay. So there you go. Tight end, we got Trey Burton, who's not a bad player as far as a speed tight end, vertical tight end, I should say. Offensive line, I think his offensive line is not bad from what I remember. Yeah, not bad. Actually pretty good. Yeah, there you go. Yep, Rocky was a storyline guy last year. So the Redskins obviously did their homework last year. We talked about that. Defensively, Chase Young is a beast already. Montez Sweat is good off the other side. And then D-tackle, his defensive line is really good. And then linebacker signed a veteran, Mario Davis. Clanky was a storyline guy, but he wasn't that great. And then Solomon Whitaker, he signed in free agency as well. All right. Corners, he's okay with those 2, Fuller and Darby. I think Darby won an award or was close to winning an award last year. Hyde at the free, he signed. Usually he goes with Apke, but he signed Hyde, and I guess he'll use Apke in some sub packages, is what my guess is. And I've got a phone call, so this may end sooner than I want to. I have to check out what that is. Landon Collins at the strong is what he's got there. All right. Let's see what else we got. We got the Saints. They have the 3rd pick in the first round. Let's see. He might go quarterback because I know he was not happy with Jameis Winston for sure. And that phone is really annoying me. Kamara is cool at the running back spot. Let's see. Michael Thomas is a beast along with Traquan Smith. Let's see. Tight end. Yeah, he can go tight end. He's not going tight end at number 3 though. Let's see. Offensive line, you're not going to go offensive line at number 3, but he'll need some help there. Don't have a left guard. But the other guys are pretty good, so not bad there. Defensive end, a young guy, you'll go with him. And Davenport, probably let those guys grow. Cameron Jordan still getting it done at 33 years old. Jesus. Okay, linebackers. They're okay. Anzalone's not bad. He needs some help at the backer spot. Corner, he needs some help at corner. So it's a tough call. Knowing the Saints in his history, he's been here a long time. I think he'll take the quarterback. And he'll probably cut Jameis. That's just my guess. I don't know, but I think he'll want an immediate return. Only an $8.5 million penalty. You'll eat that for a year. He'd probably take a quarterback at 3. And, like I said, it's a year that you want to take a swing at a quarterback. It's a good year to do that. All right, let's see. Seahawks don't have a first-round pick. We'll go quickly through them. They made the playoffs, but they lost in the first round to the Eagles, I believe. So I know he's good at running back because of that Whittington guy won the Rookie of the Year award there. He signed Deontay Harris and Dante Pettis in free agency. So I'm assuming those guys will be okay. He may go for a bigger guy, but mid to late round 2, you have to get lucky for an impact receiver this year, I think. Tight end, he's decent with Disley. All right, offensive line doesn't have a left tackle. So second round, you could be looking at offensive line. That's not a bad time to find an offensive lineman that you like, or defensive line there, because the defensive ends are not great at all. Oh God, D tackle, Jesus. So it's defense in general, they need to be their focus here. Bobby Wagner's still good, of course, but you have to get some help around him. Corners, they're good though. Good corner group, good depth there. Free safety superstar there. Okay. And then Jamal Adams. So definitely the defensive line, I think, is where you're going. And you got a late second round. If you can get some good defensive linemen at that point in the draft, there's still going to be value there. Some of those guys can come in and play right away on this team. Pittsburgh Steelers, they don't have a first or second. My goodness. But, they stocked up at least in the mid rounds. So hopefully they can scout well and find some guys that can help them. They've gone with Luke Slate, who's starting to develop a little bit. Of course, they made the big trade for Eric Orange last year. Of course, he's the guy. Good depth behind him. And then receivers, they still got their original guys like Schuster, Washington, and Claypool. That's not a bad group right there. Ebron at tight end, still good. He signed Hollister in free agency. So maybe go with some ace looks there. I would with that kind of grouping. I think offensive line, he's pretty good from what I remember. I'm kind of Williams signing free agency. A little help at right tackle wouldn't hurt. In mid rounds, you can look for that. Decent at defensive end. D tackle, you're all right. Veteran guys, I'd take a couple young guys there to supplement that. Of course, Watt's a beast at the linebacker spot with Bush. Dupree was one of my favorite players for a long time. Needs some help at corner. You're not going to get that in the mid rounds. Not real help anyway. Fitzpatrick's great, of course, at safety. And then Edmonds is not bad at the strong. So, for what the Steelers have, where they have picks, they can get help for what they need. So, they're not in a terrible spot. You just have to wait a little while. Oh, the Texans. Oh, that pick. Oh, God. In this draft, I would have advised you not to do that. I would have advised you not to do that. Okay. Watson, of course, is good. Damian Williams at 30. You might want to look at a running back in the second round, which, Eric Orange was a second round pick last year. So, hey, you can get a good running back here. Probably. Top two receivers are good. Definitely need some depth behind Cooks and Fuller. Definitely need a tight end as well. I don't know how strong of a tight end draft is. I didn't really scout tight ends. Okay, offensive line, left side's not bad. Let's see, right side is okay. I need a center. Defensive line, once again, it's not bad so far. Nobody really standing out. Linebackers, I like McKinney. He's got to get his morale up. Corner, everything here is just kind of all right. They're not bad. They're okay. Strong safety definitely need an upgrade. So, if I'm them, I'm looking at strong safety. I'm looking at running back with that first, second round pick. Honestly, in a case like this, I'd probably go on best available because that's a team that just needs, and they need some juice, man. They need to upgrade. They need somebody to stand out on that group right there. Titans have the 9th pick and the 29th pick in the first round. I see the update over there. The Jags traded their number 30 pick to the Titans for next year's first and third. They had too many firsts, so I appreciate you being in compliance with the 2 first-round pick rule. That's much appreciated. I do not want to drop the hammer on anybody. Ryan Tannehill, oh boy, quarterback at number 9. I don't know. With Ben and the way his offense runs, I don't know if you want to pick a quarterback would be nice, but you don't necessarily need. You got Derrick Henry, and we all know how Ben plays. You may go somewhere else at number 9 that needs more immediate help because you just really need a game manager at that quarterback spot. And that's the same thing with these receivers right here. You don't need. It would be nice to have a good speed guy, for play action off of that run game. I would say that. And then you got the vertical tight end with Jonnu Smith right there. So you want to pair a receiver with that and really kind of cause a little bit of havoc for a defense. Need to upgrade at center, offensive line. They're in position to take the best offensive lineman available. It's not sexy, but for what they do on offense, that might be what you're looking at. Their defense is not bad. Those ends are young. They'll grow. Need a little help at D tackle, but you're okay there. Depending on how you play your defense. They play a 3-4, you might be all right. I forget what he plays. Linebackers are decent. They're not terrible. Same thing with the secondary, decent. You can get by with those guys. I like Byard, obviously. You might want to get a strong safety. Vaccaro at 84, you got to play him down the box, play a lot of cover 3 to hide him. I know I wouldn't trust this guy just yet or ever. So that's where we are with that. All right, Vikings have the 5th pick in the first round. The Vikings have been pretty quiet. He plays his games. He's here, but he's been quiet. Quarterback, 5th pick. Yeah, I could probably stop there, but I'm going to keep going. Cook, of course, is a beast at the running back spot. Receivers are decent. It's pretty good there with Thielen leading the charge. Rudolph at tight end. I think he's a blocker because the speed is not. No, he's not a blocker. It's just a possession tight end. All right. Well, there you go. Oh, good catching. That's what it is. Okay. Well, if that's what you like, you're fine there. Offensive line could definitely use upgrade at left tackle. Rest are okay to pretty good there. But you're not going to take a left tackle at number 5 unless you got a real talent you like, and, there could be one there. Defensive ends are very good. Pierce at D tackle's great. Need a little help behind them. Of course, Barr's been a Madden favorite for a while. Kendricks is very good. So your linebackers are okay. Could use an upgrade right here on the right side. Corners could use an upgrade there. You could take the best corner at 5, but I think this franchise needs a quarterback. Oh, free safety. Yeah, you need help there too. Good gracious. And strong because Harrison Smith was a free agent. That must be a money thing. So, but I would take a quarterback here if I'm the Vikings. I mean, you look at these guys they got. I mean, I'm not scared of Drew Goodrich or Lionel Weber. So, hey, I'm going quarterback there at 5. Rest of your draft you can supplement whatever else you need. All right. Bears, 17th pick in the first round. I think they also barely missed making the playoffs in the NFC. You could have a quarterback there at 17. I don't know how good of a quarterback you'll get at 17, but I mean, you got options if that's where you want to go. We know the Bears offense. They're kind of like the Titans. They don't throw it a lot, but so Travis at running back, I mean, he's still good. I mean, knowing him, he's okay there. I don't think you have to go out and get a first round running back there. Of course, he surprised me before. Some depth at receiver. Top 2 are okay. Tight end, you're all right there with the Komet. All right, offensive line, let's take a look. Definitely need help at left guard. They're okay for the rest of that. Okay, definitely need help at end. Oh, yeah. So defensive end's an option at 17. You're all right at D-tackle. Oh, God, Mac. Oh, my God. Roquan Smith. All right, so Quinn, you can upgrade. He's getting older. Corners, you're okay. 17, you might have an option to get a good corner. Free, of course, Jackson is crazy, and Ross is young and developing. So, all right, so you can go quarterback. You can go offensive line, possibly, or you can go corner at 17. So they got a lot of different options there. It's going to be interesting where they go. Bengals made the first round of playoffs. Believe they lost to the Chargers in the first round in a pretty good game. All right, so 24th pick in the first for them. Of course, Joe Burrow is the man. They do not have to worry about the quarterback spot or the running back spot with Joe Mixon. I know Aaron likes to make a splash. He tried to trade for Westbrook. We couldn't work a deal out, so he might be looking at another receiver to go with that group of Ross and Boyd. At 24, it depends on how it falls. Could use an upgrade at tight end. 24 is a good place for a tight end. They usually don't go too early if you want to try to find the best one. Offensive line wise, you can definitely use some upgrades. Offensive line, 24, you can get a good offensive lineman for sure. I would probably go there if I was him because I got my skill guys, my top skill guys for the most part. So I want to fill in on some of those other, places where your team really needs that beef to kind of push over the top, which I think that's where he is right now. He's a good player. But those linemen, I saw it in the Super Bowl. You don't have that offensive line. You're getting those big games against really, really good guys. You're not gonna win the big ones. So I definitely go offensive line. I think it's where the Bengals are. The rest of their team is not bad. They could use some help in other places, but you can wait to get those in later rounds. So I'm going offensive line if I'm Cincinnati. All right, Buffalo doesn't have a first round pick, but they got 2 second round picks. All right, let's see where we got here. I would say quarterback, but you don't have a first in the draft that has some really good options. So maybe one falls to them. But I know he's okay with those guys. He got hot at the end of this season and made a run with these guys, and it kind of coincided when he traded for Jonathan Taylor. So I know he's good at running back. Receiver, you can definitely use an upgrade. One of those second round picks, I'd look for a receiver that might be able to be a number one someday. Someone that has some traits, because they're going to come in and be able to play right away with this group right here. I know he's good at tight end. Yep. Let's see. Offensive line. hugely important for what they want to do. All right, he traded for Bakhtiari. Okay, all right. I know I saw this being advertised. So my thing with putting Bakhtiari at left guard. Okay, so here's the thing. When you play an offensive line against a defensive line, your left guard goes up against the number 2 D tackle, which is fine. If you want to dominate that side of the line, that's fine. Most of the time, that's how it's set up. But this guy is a tackle, okay? You look at his agility, speed and acceleration, impact block. I can see why you put him at guard. You run the ball a lot. He's a good puller at the guard position. Okay. For what he does, put him at guard, that's fine. But I would put him at the right guard. You go against the number 1 D tackle, take away the defensive line's best player. That's how I would arrange that. So otherwise, yeah, I definitely flip him and Glowinski. You don't want Glowinski going up against for me, a Derek Brown, for example. He's my number 1 D tackle. He would destroy, well, in theory, he would destroy this guy. But when I played the Bills, they blocked like the damn 85 Bears for Walter Payton. So, I don't know. Anyway, and Cody Ford at the right side. Defensively, decent defensive end. Oh, Flash is good. Upgrade on that left side. You definitely go with Oliver in the middle. Griffin, of course, with their speed at the linebacker spot is nice. Could use an upgrade in the middle linebacker. Of course, the secondary is the story for this team. They need no secondary help. Even TJ Green. With those corners, that's all you need is a fast guy back there to run stuff down. So, you know. And the employer, that's a customary cover 3 team right there with a strong safety that has good coverage and hit power and can play in the box, and a free that can go run the field in the deep middle with those 2 guys on the outside. So, you know, I can see the plan, you know. I just think they just need to change that with Bakhtiari, and then in the draft, find some guys that fit their scheme and then go with it, because what you did at the second half of the season after picking up Taylor was very good for what they do over there. And I think it's a good scheme in that division when you got the Jets who play that aggressive blitzing style, and you have the Dolphins with all that talent going the other way and slowing the game down and then making teams make their own mistakes and capitalizing on short fields. It makes sense. It may not win you a Super Bowl, but hey, I mean, it's winning football in this sense. So I understand what they're doing there. I can't say that for everyone in this league. So I applaud the Bills for knowing what they want to do, having a plan for it, and then scheming around that plan. That's good. The Broncos, 28th pick in the first round, they lost in the divisional AFC to the Chargers, the eventual Super Bowl champions. I mean, they've got a pretty good setup here with McManus at quarterback, even though he's not happy with him. They signed, okay, it was interesting because I knew they had Lindsey and then Carson here, and then they signed Ronald Jones in free agency. They've got a lot of running options here. That's really interesting. You don't typically see 3 running backs that can, really, play a lot for most teams. It's kind of opposite of what you see here in most Madden leagues. The 2 receivers on the outside are very good, and then Hamler in the slot with his speed. With all this with McManus, you see why the Broncos have had the success they had. They have good, very good vertical tight end and Fant right there. So offensively, they're very tough. Let's see, offensive line wise, not bad. Actually pretty good. All in the 80s. I can't say that. Defensively, young Gore. Remember, he got him. I thought that was a good pick last year. He's got a good skill set with him. Okay. Casey's a little older veteran, get you through a year. D tackles are okay. Von Miller still getting it done at 33. Could use an upgrade at middle backer. I could see that at 28 being a possibility. Chubb's very good right there. Corner's a possibility at 28 if there's one that slides down the board. think he would go that way for sure. Simmons is a beast. And then he signed Randall in free agency. So one thing I noticed with me and the Broncos, we go after some of the same similar guys. So I know his mindset. He's got, like I said with the Bills, he's got a good plan, good execution on the field. He'll make a good pick at 28. Now, I'm thinking middle linebacker if there's one there, because that just makes sense with the way his roster is set up. All right, Browns, 22nd pick in the first round. They lost in the first round of the AFC playoffs. I can't remember who they. I can't remember who they lost to, but that's where they are. All right. Quarterback, because they let Baker Mayfield go. So, 22, you could get a quarterback there that can be a starter. I don't know if he'll be the best of the best, depending on how you scout. There's a quarterback for almost every type that you can have. So, but the running back position is very strong, so you have to worry about that at all. Receiver, you could go receiver there. He's got some speed, guys, but I don't know if you've got I don't know. That's interesting. Interesting mix of receivers there. But you got two tight ends. So you can play a lot of ace sets. That's what I would do in a moment. If you draft a guy, you can help bring him along that way. Offensive line, okay, not bad. He's upgraded right guard, but not bad otherwise. Okay, you can get by with that. Oh, defensive end, yeah, you need some help there, even though you got Garrett on one side. The other side sucks. In theory, you could move Ogunjobi to end temporarily with that speed and acceleration. Be a good run stopping DN. It just depends on what you do on defense, and I'm not sure what his style is. Could use a help at the left outside linebacker spot. Other linebackers are not bad. Let's see. Corners are not bad. Denzel Ward's a beast. Delpit's not bad. The free. Joseph you can get by with at the strong right now. So, they're not a bad team. But, it's a couple areas they could definitely go for help at 22. All right, Buccaneers, new guy. Number 2 pick in the draft, who has told me numerous times his team was gutted. But the good thing is when you come into a Madden league, for me, you want to come in with a clean slate. And it don't get no cleaner than not having a quarterback. So, so there you go. If I'm the Bucks, I'm going to take a quarterback. I know he said he got some draft intel from the Steelers, who was the one that recommended him to join. So, there's at number 2, you'll have your share of good quarterbacks. You doing your scouting, they look good. I'm not going to tell you if they are, but, you got a lot of them. So, chances are you can get a good quarterback. Fournette's still there at running back if you like that kind of guy. I'm not sure what he likes, but you can get a running back later in the draft. Now, your receivers are very good. Evans and Godwin there. Miller is still a pretty good slot guy with that speed combination right there with what he does. Gronk still there at 33, still superstar, still got some abilities. You can hold on another year for him or two. Superstar left tackle. Hold on now. This ain't that damn bad. Offensive line look better than mine. Oh, God. And he signed my old guy, Okung, right there, which after he got rolled in the Super Bowl by Joey Bosa, I knew I was going to cut him. But anyway, that's a whole nother story. So his offensive line is better than mine, so I don't feel as bad now. Defensive end, signed McCoy in free agency. That's a stopgap right there. The tackle, I think he signed Richardson in free agency. All right. So he signed Smith. Free agency superstar outside linebacker. You got White and David playing them in the middle together. That will be tough to deal with. And then Barrett on the outside. Okay. Now I'm starting to think he's a sandbagger. Now that I look at this, I didn't really look, so they're not as damn good as I thought. Although you do need some depth at corner, you can get that. That's not too bad. Free's all right. He's still young. Signed my old guy, Trey Boston. So, all right. So, obviously, my old players, I want to go to Tampa because I cut them and let them go. and they're upset. So that's okay. All right. So once again, if I'm Tampa, I'm taking a quarterback. That's pretty open and shut right there. All right. Cardinals have the 12th pick. Of course, he was confused on the draft, so he's not going to be here. But he told me his draft board is set. Of course, he does not need a quarterback with Kyler Murray there. And then Drake at running back, I know he likes him with his offense that he runs. Receiver, we got, okay, so yeah, he's good with, yeah, he's definitely good. You know, it sucks. You know, we know the Cardinals offense, okay? But you have these three guys, and they will never reach their potential in this offense. Oh, God. I'm going to ask him to trade Hopkins to me. All right. McLean was a carryover player from last year at tight end. Could use some help with the depth back with the tight end position. Offensive line, you could upgrade, definitely offensive line, especially with his offense. I'm definitely going offensive line. There's no doubt about that. The rest of this, you can get some help, depth at the defensive line in the draft. Jones is still good at 32. Decent on the other two guys, athletic linebackers. Decent top two corners. Patrick Peterson still hanging in there. Need some depth at corner. Are you serious? You can almost play Isaiah Simmons at free. I mean, they need help at free. That's insane. A 6'4", 238 free safety. Now, granted, I'd put him at strong and probably put Baker to free just because of the skill set. But, I mean, that's crazy. I did not know he was like that. So, I'm definitely going offensive line for the Cardinals. That's not a hard choice there. All right. We got the Super Bowl champion Chargers, of course, with the 32nd pick. Of course, Justin Herbert has developed well into the quarterback spot. Of course, Eckler, he's a killer at the running back spot. I'm going to get off here soon to eat a nice looking dinner that my fiance just made me. And excuse the kiss in the background there. Receivers were pretty good right there. Hunter Henry's good at tight end, of course. Offensive line looked pretty good. The left side, not dominating guys, but I mean they're very good. I mean, all 80s offensive line is rare. Bosa is a beast. Know that personally. Needs some help on the other side, but they'll be fine. Needs some help at the D tackle spot. So, Nwosu is very good. Murray is very good. Ebert's a beast. So the linebackers are really what makes that defense. Their secondary won't be as strong as he was talking about money wise, and Harris getting older. He couldn't afford all those guys. But I mean, you still got King, and you still got the other guy, Derwin James, right there. So they're still going to be very good in the back seven. Their defensive line will need some reinforcements, and we all know Bugatti will pick a guy projected 6th round, and he'll be a 94 overall superstar and the best player in the draft. So, not hating, just stating facts. Okay. Chiefs, you don't even deserve this, but I'm going to do it anyway. 10th pick in the 1st round. All right. So they got Mahomes, of course. For what he does, I mean, Hilaire's okay. I mean, you can upgrade there in theory. You don't need a receiver. He'll probably take a receiver anyway because that's the thing. He doesn't make any damn sense. You need a tight end, of course. Number 10, I don't know. I'd go tight end there. Offensive line wise, you got a good left tackle, young left tackle that can develop. There's McCoy, who I traded for Tyrann Mathieu last year in the middle of the season. It was a great trade for us. Got us to the Super Bowl. Schwartz is good on the right side. Aging guys, you might want to go off. I wouldn't go offensive line at 10 unless he's a real beast. Need some help on the defensive line. Definitely a defensive end. 800 D tackles. So you might want to look at moving one or two of these D tackles to defensive end, especially this guy right here. He could play some defensive end. I'd move him and then look to draft somebody. All right, need help at, oh God. Definitely need help at linebacker. My goodness. Oh God. All right, so yeah, take a linebacker at 10. Or a corner. Good gracious. You're so focused on offense, your defense sucks. Oh, that's another stupid way to build a team. My God. All right. I'm sorry. Colts don't have a first round pick. They traded for the linebacker Schobert. I know they didn't. That was somebody else. I'm all mixed up. Anyway, Dak Prescott, Marlon Mack, they're good. Quarterback, running back positions. Receiver, I know he likes his top two guys. Carry over Castle and then DK Metcalf. OJ Howard, the tight end, is good. All right. I know his offensive line is pretty good, of course. You guys that came with good stock offensive lines have a distinct advantage. That might be one of the best lines in the game right there. J.J. Watt still getting it done at 33. Traded for Tuitt. That was a good trade right there. Buckner is really strong on the inside. Get some depth at D tackle in the draft. Those middle rounds could be good for that. There's Baker right there. He traded. Oh, that's what he traded the first for Jerome Baker. That's right. I knew it was a linebacker. Just got it mixed up real quick. Good linebacking core now. Top two corners are not bad. Hooker at free is a good player. And then Smith, he signed a free agency at strong, who's still hanging in there. Still serviceable with those numbers right there. So not a bad spot and not a bad team. Lost in the first round of playoffs, I think, to the Jaguars. So in the AFC. All right, Cowboys had the 7th pick in the first round. Josh Allen is locked in there at the quarterback spot. Of course, there's Elliott, who's a beast, as usual. I know he was trying to trade Amari Cooper. Well, you got CD Lamb and you got Gallup, so I can see the theory in trading him at 28. Makes sense. Obviously, no takers just yet, because, the Cowboys want some ransom for their guys. They're good at tight end, though. Tyron Smith was available. We'll look at trading for him. I didn't want to pay the price. So I'll just put it that way. The rest of the offensive line, though, could use a little help at left guard and center. But the other three guys are good, obviously. All right, you got Lawrence. He's good at there. Good defensive ends. D tackle. Yep, you need some help there. Linebacker. Left outside backer needs some help. The other two are very good. Corners are not bad. You can get by with that group. Of course, the free safety cost storyline player from last year has developed nicely. And then, oh God, strong safety. So there's a couple places they can go at 7. Typically want an impact player. It's a tough call there. Maybe linebacker for that left outside backer spot. Might be the way to go. Possibly some offensive line help if there's really one that you think is worth number 7. So there we go. Dolphins have 2 first-round picks, the one from Jerome Baker and their own in the first round. The Dolphins lost in the divisional round last year to... Who did they lose to? Oh, the Jaguars. Yep, Jaguars. All right. Tua is locked in at the quarterback spot. Of course, Kevin Thompson's locked in at the running back spot. They did trade guys to me, so you might want to look at another backup running back later on in the draft. Of course, the receivers with Andy Moss, storyline player from last year, who's developed nicely. Devontae Parker and then Preston Williams, Jakeem Grant. It's a wealth of talent right there. Talent is not the problem for this team. Gesicki and then storyline player last year, Trent Red Danger. You might want to, as crazy as it sounds, you might want to trade to Gesicki because, you see this guy right here, what he can do. He's a budding, waiting to bust. Offensive line, though, you want some help there, especially at your left tackle spot, your center spot. Oh, yeah. Offensive line. Yeah, for where you're picking right now, you might pick 2 offensive linemen there in the first round and, beef that up. Let's see. Defensive line. Yeah, defensive line could use a little help, too. So, It could be a more boring draft this year for the Dolphins. Along the lines of scrimmage, like I said, you get to that tier where you're, making the playoffs. You want to push into that high echelon level. It's the line of scrimmage that makes the difference, in my opinion, anyway. Linebackers, you need a little help there. So they've got some open spots, but their secondary is very strong. Lemming won, I think, Rookie of the Year or DB, some kind of defensive Rookie of the Year. That's it. And you see, it's crazy. He's a third corner here. Now, I don't know if he plays third corner, but he's the third highest rated on this team. I mean, the secondary is a problem, in Miami, at least at the corner spot. The safeties are okay, but the way they play their defense, they play a lot of man. And then if you can't get off man, then, the safeties really don't matter, to be honest. All right. Eagles. He's going to miss the draft. He talked to me. 26 pick in the first round. All right, Wentz, thankfully he's kept, and he's become better using him. Sanders is very good at the running back spot. He may look to upgrade that running back spot, though, for a different type. Receivers, two good young guys. I don't think you need to, yeah, thanks, babe. No, that's okay. Thanks. Tight ends are pretty good there with Ertz and Goddard. Offensive line, you may need a little help there. Left side is average at best, but the right side is very good. I remember that because I kept seeing stars when I played them in the regular season. Defensive line, Barnett's good. Need a little help at the left end. He's getting older. Cox is a beast on the inside. Hargrave's not a bad number 2 there. Need help at linebacker for sure on the left and the middle. He's a fast guy. Speed at the linebacker spot, though. As I said with Buchanan, speed makes up for a lot. So, could get by with those guys. Corners are good. Don't think you need help there. Need help at the free. No strong. Well, there we go. A little slow to loading there. Okay. So, you could go safety at that spot in the draft. 26. Yeah, I could see that. Falcons have the 18th pick in the first round. Just missed out in the playoffs. I guess he's still going to go with Tyree Jackson. I don't know. I don't know. At 18, in theory, I think you can get a quarterback. Just depends. Just depends on what you want there. Gurley's still good for a couple more years. Receivers, Weber has really stepped up. He's been a big threat for them. So they really got a 3-headed monster there, and Julio getting older. That's good for them. Hurst is good at the tight end, but you could use another one because the backup sucks. Let's see, offensive line, use an upgraded center. Rest of those guys are average at best. Of course, Reggie White, carryover player, is a beast from last year. Clay's okay at the other end. Those two guys on the inside do a good job for them, especially Jarrett. He's really tough. Fowler, of course, is good. Deion Jones, I hate him. And Olakut is not bad. For Willie, Kyle plays defense, of course. He loves the speed guys, and having speed at linebacker is a big, big plus. Could use upgrade at corner, although Terrell's developing. Okay, definitely use help with free safety. So at 18, free safety, offensive line, 2 ways you can go, or if you want to go with the quarterback, Tyree Jackson. I mean, I know he caught lightning in the bottle for part of last year, but I don't know if he's a long-term answer. 49ers don't have a first or second round pick, but let's see. Sam Darnold, he signed a free agency. Sonny Michel, he signed a free agency to pair with Tevin Coleman. Receivers, he's okay. I know he signed Sims in free agency. I think Hamilton was signed in free. No, he was there already. So he's all right with receiver with his offense. That's okay. Of course, Kittle's a beast. I think his offensive line is pretty good from what I remember. So that's a big plus. Yeah, offensive line is not bad. Let's see. Defensively, D Ford, not bad there. Bosa, of course, is a beast, so he's all right on defensive line. Linebackers are not bad. Of course, the 49ers had a good stock roster, so they don't need a lot of help. Number 2 corner, I'm go with Boone. I mean, even though Mosley's pretty good with the speed, so I think you're all right at corner. Let's see. Free, could look for some more speed there. Strong, he's okay, so not a bad team. Not a bad team in all honesty. If you like Darnold, you don't need to go court well. You're in the 3rd round, so he's kind of best available at that point. Giants have 2 first-round picks. I have number 11 from San Francisco and number 30. I can't remember why they have 11. I can't remember which trade that was. All right. Let's see. NFC runner-ups. Daniel Jones, that's his guy. Go with Barkley. Of course, Slayton is their number 1 receiver, although Shepard makes some big plays, and then Dorsett still hanging on there as the number 3 guy. Just needs some depth behind him. And there's Kelsey, and the worst trade ever. Offensive line wise, his offensive line is very good. I mean, this might be the best offensive line in the game. That left side, both 90s. Now, he did sign Fulton in free agency, but Pert, you see, is pretty good. Excuse me, at the right tackle spot. Wooten's very good at the end. He was one of the sack leaders. Williams does a good job on the other side. And then Lawrence and Tomlinson on the inside. They're very tough to run against. And then the linebackers are crazy with speed. Could use some help on the middle with Blake Martinez. And then on the right side, but he runs a lot of sub packages, and in the sub packages you got the corners who are not bad. I know Bradbury won an award and still went down in development, which was hilarious. McKinney's the one he uses a lot in the sub packages. He's a good player as it is. Then Peppers, of course, is a beast at the strong. So where they go, I would say maybe. I mean, 2 first-round picks. This situation, linebackers are their glaring spot. But, at 11, you're almost in a position to take best talent. And then 30, I would take what you need. Because, when you pick high in the draft, like I always say, you want to pick impact guys unless there's like a really standout person that just is a perfect fit. So, we'll see. Jaguars have the 4th... Another crazy trade. 4th pick from Houston, and then the 20th from Green Bay. That was the Schobert deal, and then this was the pick swap. So, y'all gonna learn to stop dealing with the Jags. Dang on it. So, Bronson Jenkins from last year. And then, let's see, Breida is his guy at the running back spot. All right, and he's good at the receiving spot between Moore and Chark, and then Chenault, and even Chris Conley, who's always a good Madden guy. He's good at tight end with Ingram, and then sign Allstott. Allstott will probably go to fullback as a carryover storyline guy from previous years. Let's see, offensive line could upgrade left tackle. Cam Robinson will definitely upgrade right guard. At 4, you don't take offensive line, but definitely at 23, that's something you can look at. Of course, defensively, Allen is a beast. Chason is good on the other side. Wide load carryover player from last year at the D tackle spot. Let's see. Linebackers, he's okay with Avery Williamson. Jack is good. Could use an upgrade with Quincy Williams, but he's a good athlete at the position. Get by with those corners. Earl Thomas hanging on at the free. And Ronnie Harrison's not bad at the strong. Definitely cover 3 setup, though, with that speed and acceleration. All right, so they're in a good spot. And they made the AFC title game last year. Jets had a tough end to the season. They have the 15th pick and the 21st pick from the Seahawks. I can't remember what that trade was for, but here we go. They did sign Baker Mayfield. I think they were the only one that had a bid on him. So he's got a good quarterback. He paid for him, though. I'm seeing that contract. Definitely can go running back with 2 first-round picks. I think he'll go there. Let's see, receiver. You can go receiver with that first round pick, I think there's a couple of guys that you can consider there. Tight ends is an option, maybe in the middle rounds. I think his offensive line's not bad. Average. Yeah, average. Yep, definitely average. So you can definitely upgrade offensive line with that second first round pick if you wanted to. Defensive end needs some help on the left side. I definitely move one of those guys to the left side from the right side. Harrison's still decent on the inside there. Let's see. Linebackers. Mosley's the leader of that pack right there. Willis is alright. You can actually move Willis to a defensive end if you wanted to. That's what I would do if it was me. But that's how I run my defense. Need some help at corner. He's okay with Davis at free. I think he uses him a lot. And then May at the strong. So there's a couple ways the Jets can go. The Jets were a tough build. Of course, we know how bad they are in real life, so doesn't make it any easier. The Lions have waited patiently. 19th pick in the first round. Let's see what they got here. Okay, let's change positions, Matt. There we go. Stafford, he's offered him in trades. You see where he is right there. 78 overall. Veteran quarterback. That's what he is. Swift is the man at the running back spot for these guys. And then Galladay, of course, is a really, really good receiver. Uses Agnew a good bit. Could use some depth behind them. So, I could see right now they could take a quarterback if they're trying to trade Stafford. Or they could go with the other guy they got there. Hawkinson's a good tight end. Don't let that rating fool you. He makes a lot of tough catches. Offensive line is not bad. I know he was offering Jackson also, so he could be looking to take offensive lineman at some point. There's Flowers at DN. It's not bad. Ansah could use an upgrade. Definitely use D-tackle depth. Linebackers, this guy's good speed. My goodness, not bad for middle linebacker. And then there's Davis is okay. Corners are good on this team though. I think he was offering Coleman for something. 29. I can see why he's starting to decline a little bit. So there you go. I mean, there's a couple different ways they can go there. I would go quarterback just because I don't know if I believe in Garcia. He's a star development guy. Okay. Well, I mean, if that's where you want to go and, 90 throw power, you could develop him in theory. So, well, we'll see. We'll see what you do there. And then finally the Packers. I don't know if they got a first rounder now. Oh, they have two. I'm sorry. Back-to-back first rounders at that. Okay. Well, let's see. They still have Aaron Rodgers, so I'm assuming he'll still play. And then Aaron Jones is good at running back. Depth at receiver, you're not going to take a first rounder, though. Tight end. If there's a tight end you like at 14, if he's really good, yeah. All right, offensive line. We traded Bakhtiari, so you need offensive lineman there at left tackle. Good Lord. Yeah. So offensive line could be an option there for one of those picks. Need some defensive line depth for sure. Linebacker. There's Schobert right there, man in the middle. So outside backers could need some help. And then their top two corners are not bad, but you need some depth behind those guys. Savage is really good, and then Amos is still good. So I'm thinking offensive line, defensive line depth. Not sexy, but that's where we are. All right, so we'll be starting the draft here in 12 minutes. And we'll see you guys in the chat. Remember, post your pictures of your draft picks. And I'll put all this normal stuff in the draft chat before we get started. All right, thanks, guys.